Good morning, YouTube. All right, let's try this again. I thought I was recording and I wasn't. Yeah, it's a hard thing to tell with a smartphone in Phoenix when the sun is out, because it is so bright out here that it's really hard to see the screen over just the glare and the reflection of the screen. So it's 11:37 a.m. Saturday, March 19th, 2022. Looks like she's got a hydraulic jack in her shopping cart. That could come in handy. I'm at 26th Avenue in McDowell, which is not an area that I normally ever walk in. In fact, I don't believe I've ever walked. Whoops, I'm blocking the lens. I don't think I've ever walked through here before, ever. Driven here several times. It's not even an area I like driving in. In fact, I'm usually pretty on guard when I'm driving a cab through here, and I see a really awesome car for sale across the street. I'll try to get over there, but there's a lot of traffic between me and that. Okay, here's a break. Here's a break. Oh. So yeah, McDowell Road, beefy strode through here. We got two lanes westbound, 3 lanes eastbound, and a chicken lane in the middle. But over here, McDowell West Business Park, 26th Avenue and McDowell. We got a Vette for sale. Look at that. That is, paint is a little faded, but that is badass. Holy shit. Wow. Wow. I would imagine that that convertible historic vehicle license plates, I can feel the pussy magnet in that car from here. Oh yeah. There's a phone number. If somebody won't buy that for me, that'd be awesome. Wow. Yeah, that's pretty freaking awesome. I would imagine they're probably asking a little more money for that car than I'm able to afford right now. So I guess phone number's in the video. I can always roll it back and look at it. I always find it a little questionable when somebody has a used car for sale on the side of the road with a sign on it and not even as much as an asking price. That's not a good starting point. Guess how much I want for this car? Not a good starting point. All right, so I'm on my way to Bullock's, not for any good reason, just don't feel like going home. My home's a pretty fucking miserable place. Although the girlfriend may have made it home by now, but that's all the more reason for me not to be there. Wow, look at this damage to the sidewalk. Whee! Yeah, I had a wee bit drink over at the Wander Inn. Had a great time at the Wander Inn. I had the best conversation I've ever had with the owner of the bar. Like, I've met him in passing a few times, but I've never really actually talked to him. So that was pretty cool. That was actually pretty cool. Used to always really clash with the manager, and amazingly, her and I get along really good. And the bartender that was there when I got there is somebody had a very interesting and surprising intimate time with once upon a time. So that was unexpected and also quite awesome. So yeah, good morning over there. Their jukebox is so awful. But after Quentin explained to me why he has that jukebox, it made total and complete sense to me. So, I mean, you know, whatever. He's looking after himself, not his customers with that. But it's, yeah, you know, I mean, if I had customers pumping money into a jukebox, I would want that money to go to me and not to TouchTunes. So, like, I get it. I get it, and that makes sense to me. Anyway, yeah, so he, and it's hard to explain the music selection on the jukebox, but it's not very browsable. It's awkward. There was an app for it. It used to be, oh man, I wish I could remember the name of the jukebox, but hands down the worst reviews I've ever seen for any app in the Apple App Store. And And apparently, like, it's a non-existent app. Like, from what I've heard, it doesn't even. God, I hope he's not dead. Doesn't even work at all anymore. So, yeah. But cache, put cache in and play with the touchscreen, and it's funny because, like, I never find exactly what I'm looking for, but in the process of searching what I'm looking for, I always find some interesting songs. I tried to play Blame Hoffman by Tool, which I thought was amazing that was in there, but about 2 minutes into its weird intro, it just cut off and went to the next song, so that kind of sucked. I also put in a couple A Perfect Circle songs, and those were disappointing as well. I put in 3 Libras, and it was some kind of, I don't even think it was 3 Libras at all. It was just some kind of like remix, which I know A Perfect Circle has a lot of that. I'm not a huge fan of it, but it's just kind of part of what A Perfect Circle does. But it was definitely like a weird remix that was chopped and screwed so much from the original that I didn't hear anything that even struck me as elements of 3 Libras, which is kind of frustrating because I was after like 3 pitchers of beer, I was ready to sing along with Maynard, and let it out. Of all the different songs I sing at karaoke bars, 3 Libras is one of those that seems to leave the panties wet. Now, sometimes towards the end of the song, I can't quite hit the high notes, but I can usually hit them. But I pretty much hit everything else on the song pitch perfect, and now I'm sitting here like talking to myself, waiting for the bus, and I can't even remember how the hell that song goes. Yeah, I'm trying to think of how 3 Libras goes. And then the other song, whose name I can never pronounce correctly, I think it's Ostrites, something like that, off of Murdenom. I tried to play that directly after it, and that ended up being like some really boring-ass, stripped-down acoustic version of the song, so that was a letdown as well. Oh, God, it's killing me. I can't remember how 3 Libras goes in the slightest, which is weird because when it's in my mind, I can sing it a cappella and like knock it out the park. But right now, I'm just hearing loud ass fucking car exhaust and looking at these disgustingly huge SUVs and trucks, which is a pretty solid reminder that gas is still not expensive enough. I mean, $4.49 a gallon. $4.49 a gallon at AM/PM, no less. This is one of the cheapest stations in the area, and yet you still got motherfuckers driving these giant abominations. So yeah, gas is clearly not too expensive. They can clearly still afford it. In fact, the only person I see waiting for the bus is those people, and I would assume they don't have any vehicle to drive, much like myself. And here comes another big ass truck. God, I cannot remember how 3 Libras goes in the slightest at the moment. All I can remember is when it came up on the jukebox, I'm just like, this is not the song I put in. And then I walked up to the jukebox and it said, now playing A Perfect Circle, 3 Libras. And it was just some kind of weird techno, electro kind of, I mean, well, I should say it was, but it was definitely like from the electro, remix side of A Perfect Circle, and some of that I do like Counting Bodies Like Sheep. Freaking love that. That's good. But the couple remix albums that they put out, I can't listen to any of them all the way through. Like, they get bits and pieces I like, but it's nothing I'm gonna. Much love for Maynard, much love for Billy Howardell, but neither of those records are anything I'm gonna put on and listen from beginning to end. It's crazy. I got Ostriches just like stuck in my head. And I don't want to feel so cold and lonely, Ostriches. But yeah, I can't for the life of me remember how 3 Libras goes. So that's all right. I am on my way to Bullock's, and they do have a touch tunes jukebox. And when I get there, I will. Still trying to cope with the fact that my iPhone was stolen, but Obama phone number 3 is not a bad phone. It's just such a different operating system and experience that I'm a little awkward using it. But I'm coming around. I'm figuring it out. Anyway, when I get on their Wi-Fi over there, actually not their Wi-Fi, but actually the Cox hotspot from the barbershop next door, which I think I got loaded. I think I got the password and everything on this phone on Thursday night, so it should just log right into that. And download the TouchTunes app and play 3 Libras and jog my fractured memory. I know that's the song I really wanted to hear, but now I can't even really pull it out of my brain amongst all this god-awful traffic noise. All right, we got a homeless pedestrian trying to just edge his way across the street. Yeah, honk at him. That'll change his mind. I believe I had about 15 minutes to wait, 12 minutes to wait on this transfer. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this thing across the street. I've done this bus transfer quite a bit, and I've vlogged on it. Mostly mostly on Fridays, as I'm headed from Bullocks over to Wander Inn. I've never done the reverse, like in the middle of the day. But this across the street, that's a giant bus terminal. I don't know how to pronounce it. Grupo Tufesa. Anyway, those are charter buses that head down to Mexico. It's not exactly public transit, but it's something. And yeah, it's good to know if I wanted to go to Mexico, like this is where I go. And I would imagine that those buses are not too expensive, judging from the people that are lining up to take them. And I should maybe zoom in on that phone number and give them a call. I do like that they're old school enough to have a phone number posted as opposed to a website. And they probably don't have an app because, Mexicans. Anyway, I haven't been to this intersection in the daytime in a long time. This is just like not how I picture it all the time. That street sign, and I've commented before on my vlogs about how I'm kind of fascinated by the different street light pole styles in Phoenix, as well as street signs, and yeah, let's talk about that. That is the street pole that was really common in the 90s, early 2000s, but a street sign that's probably about 10 to 15 years old. And then that is a newer style street pole, which is not in regular use, but the street sign that's on it, that's the old school, all capital letters with 100 block on it type street sign. So there's not very many of those left, so it's kind of a nostalgia thing to see it there. And I'm assuming that the new style isn't there because there's not a bar going up to attach it to like there is there on that pole. And I would guess that particular like non-standard type stoplight pole is there because of the power lines above it. But I don't know, it seems like there's enough clearance for a taller pole. Anyway, there's my bus. I need to wrap this up. Thanks for coming with me on the drunken walk, and I hope you learned something.